You awaken to the biting chill of a dawn you didn't anticipate. The salty air whips around you, no longer a refreshing balm, but a cruel reminder of the vast, indifferent sea. The ship is gone, its silhouette a fleeting memory against the bruised horizon. It's vanished completely as the promises under the Cretan moon. Each crashing wave on the deserted shore of Naxos is a personal betrayal, a mocking echo of your name that will never again pass his lips. You scramble to your feet, the coarse sand grating under your bare soles, and scan the empty expanse. Hope, a stubborn ember, flickers and dies with the realization that the man you saved, the man you loved, has left you to the silence of this desolate island. You are utterly, irrevocably alone. Panic, cold and sharp, begins to prickle at your skin. Your gaze darts from the empty sea to the unfamiliar rocky terrain behind you. There are no familiar landmarks, no comforting signs of civilization, just an endless stretch of a land you don't recognize. The sun, climbing higher, casts long, stark shadows that seem to mock your vulnerability. You hug yourself, trying to ward off the growing dread that has nothing to do with the morning chill. He was your salvation, your escape from a life you never chose, and now he is gone. The labyrinth, with all its monsters, feels less terrifying than this sudden, profound emptiness. Every breath you take is a painful reminder of the breath you shared with him, the life you envisioned, now snatched away like a forgotten dream. Your future, once so clear and bright, has dissolved into the haze of the distant ocean. Then from the wild, untamed interior of the island, a sound begins to rise. At first, it's a low hum, easily mistaken for the wind, but it quickly swells into a joyous, riotous clamor. Laughter, deep and unrestrained, mixes with the clear, high notes of pipes and the insistent thrum of drums. You turn, your heart lurching with a new, inexplicable fear, or perhaps a strange, hesitant curiosity. From the verdant tangle of vines and shadows, a procession emerges. Figures garlanded with ivy and grapes, their movements fluid and uninhibited, dance into view. At their center, striding with an effortless grace, is a man unlike any you have ever seen. His eyes, dark as the deepest wine, meet yours, and a smile, both knowing and utterly disarming, spreads across his lips. He holds a staff entwined with ivy, and the air around him shimmers with an intoxicating energy that promises not solace, but something far more potent, far more wild. He is coming for you. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Brandon. Welcome to the Time Travelers Club. So last time we talked about the origins and symbols of Dionysus, and we quickly realized that this was a two-parter. So today, we continue our journey with the god of revelry as he travels through Greece.
So after that whole mess in Thebes happened, he just decides to go on and keep on keeping on like nothing ever happened. So he's going on, continuing to spread the good word about the Lord and Savior, Dionysus. And you would think that an entire royal family facing that sort of death and disruption...
Remember, they were all being decapitated, guys.
Yes.
Moms were ripping limbs apart. Things didn't end. People were being turned into snakes.
Not great.
Not great.
Not great.
Not great.
But you would figure that an entire royal family facing that sort of death and the disruption that it brought for the entire city-state would make the word spread pretty quickly about this guy and what is in store for you if you don't accept him. It's like, you know what it reminds me of?
You would think, but you know.
It reminds me of the curse of Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't accept my rose.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're cursed to be a beast for all time.
Imagine like every castle nearby falling for the same mistake. I do believe that. I do believe that with everything going on right now. I do believe that.
I really do.
Because we don't learn.
Never.
Like,
Never.
That was them. That won't happen to us.
Everyone believes in exceptionalism for themselves.
Of course.
And you would think that in a future that any other kings or queens he might visit would be totally chill with him and celebrate and not try anything funny. You'd be disappointed. Or maybe not, because then you get to see more fun Dionysian rampages. Yes. Oh, yeah. In the Iliad, when King Lycurgus of Thrace heard that Dionysus was in his kingdom, he imprisoned Dionysus's followers, the Maenads, like a stupid person. Accurate. Mm-hmm. And based off of what happened with his own family when they just refused to worship him, I'm sure this is going to go over so much better than it did for them.
Of course. Yeah, like what could go wrong?
I mean, really. So Dionysus fled and took refuge with Thetis.
Yeah, that Thetis, that one. That one, the mom of Achilles.
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And in his fury, sent a drought. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, don't piss off a god of agriculture.
Please don't.
But whatever. It's fine.
This is kind of a fascinating story here because now we can kind of see him working as a god of revolution. Mm-hmm. Because what makes people angry, what has started revolutions and uprisings since the beginning of recorded history? That's right. You can't eat anything. Because you see, a drought would cause a bad harvest or even the threat of a bad harvest. It wouldn't take people long to realize that if the lack of rain continued and their crops slowly withered away in front of them, that they may not survive the winter into the following year. So with this in mind, of course, this stirred the people to revolt. Because why should they have to pay for their fucking king's dumbass mistake? Really?
Right. Exactly. Because that's the point here. It's like, you see this with the French Revolution stuff too. It's like, okay, your bad decisions are causing us to starve. That is like you could get away with a lot as a ruler in general, but when you start messing with people's food, and we see some of that today, right? I mean, that's where okay, we're done here.
Oh, absolutely. And just for good measure, the god then drove King Lycurgus insane and had him slice his own son into pieces with an axe in the belief that he was a patch of ivy, a plant holy to Dionysus.
Love that story.
Woof. Woof. That's fucking brutal.
I know. Like, very similar to, I mean, he did it to his own aunt. I was just saying.
I mean, true.
Are we surprised here?
Not really.
Bad for the kid, because he probably had nothing to do with it. But,
No, and kids, the kiddos are innocent, but
maybe he was also a Nepo baby. Who knows?
Who knows? An oracle then claimed that the land would stay dry and barren as long as Lycurgus lived, and his people had him drawn and quartered. And everyone thinks, drawn and quartered, oh my god, pulled apart by horses. It's like,
no, it's so much more intimate than that. We're talking about you are in there nitty gritty. It's pretty much like, it makes a vivisection look cute. Because
yeah,
it's not fun. And
nope.
So yeah, you really have to mess up to do that.
It is brutal.
Like, you'd wish you were just hung. You wish you were burned at the stake, because at least the smoke would knock you out.
I mean, lack of oxygen and all that. Yeah. But this, you're alive for a long time.
Because they start with, the non-vitals, folks.
Yep. They start with the limbs. So, appeased by the king's death, Dionysus lifted the curse. In an alternate version, sometimes depicted in art, Lycurgus tries to kill Ambrosia, a follower of Dionysus, who was transformed into a vine twined around the enraged king, and slowly strangled him.
Just a heads up, guys, Ambrosia's a guy. And I kind of love this story. You messed with his gay lover, so then he took the remains of his gay lover and strangled you with them. It paints a picture.
It does. And sends a message.
But yeah, I actually saw this piece of jewelry. It's fascinating because they'll see these almost in cameos and rings and stuff. Mm-hmm. And this was carved in there, and there's this guy being entwined by the vines and stuff. So it's very popular imagery. I really love that. It was really, really pretty to look at. But yeah, I just love that.
Absolutely.
Such a creative. Like, who came up with this idea? Who came up with the story? Like, good for them. So, and I genuinely don't know which version I like better because honestly, both have their merits. You either are strangled to death by his gay lover, whose body corpse turned into vines, or you are, systematically ripped apart by the people. I don't know. Both have their merits.
I mean, both are good.
I'm championing both.
You know what? I love the poetry of being strangled to death because you tried to kill the one that I love, but at the same time,
but you also, because of your actions, the people rose and overthrew you. As a god of revolution, it's also just as poetic.
It really is.
But in another myth, the Homeric hymn 7 to Dionysus recounts how, while he sat on the seashore, some sailors spotted him. Believing him a prince, they attempted to kidnap him and sail away to sell him for ransom or into slavery. No rope would bind him. The god turned into a fierce lion and unleashed a bear on board, killing all in his path. That's right. Like, if that seems confusing, he turns into some sort of big cat, but then also summons a bear.
Where did the bear come from? I guess the bear was there already?
I mean, again, he's turning his lover into vines. I mean, like,
fair.
Anything is possible. He's a druid. It's a summon. It's a special summon.
What is this, D&D?
Exactly. Where do you think they got the idea from?
Probably.
But yeah, so he's unleashing a small zoo on these people, right?
Understandable.
Mind you, in this, so it kills everybody in this path. Those who jumped from the ship in his mercy were turned into dolphins. The only one to survive was the helmsman Achates, who recognized the god immediately from the beginning. He's described as kind of like this old man, who knows better, and he's like, definitely didn't want to fuck around and find out. And he did try to stop the sailors from the start. Mm-hmm. But, they didn't listen to him. In a similar story, Dionysus hires a Tyrian pirate ship to sail from Icaria to Naxos. When he was aboard, they sailed not to Naxos, but to Asia. What they mean by Asia is like Anatolia. So that was what they would have considered Asia. And they intended to sell him as a slave. This time, the god turned the mast and oars into snakes and filled the vessel with ivy and the sound of flutes, so the sailors went mad and leapt into the sea, where they, again, returned into dolphins. So slightly different story, but
same outcome.
Mm-hmm. And in Ovid's Metamorphoses, Bacchus, another name for Dionysus, begins the story as a young child found by pirates, but transforms into a divine adult when on board. So no matter what narrative you're looking at, the whole premise is that there's a ship, he gets on board, they try to double cross him, and they all pay for it, except for this old guy. Mm-hmm. So I just want to take a minute to note real quick the differences between the Greek version and the Roman, though, right? Which was clearly a little more sterilized, he just kind of shows up and he goes, hey guys, don't do that with the Roman one. But also just fun. I just feel like don't travel with Dionysus. He's not a good travel buddy. He's going to ruin your cruise.
He's not a good road trip partner.
It just always ends up in the worst situations. And people end up either ripping people limb from limb or turned into dolphins. And just...
I mean, it could be a good time.
But, so... the Romans were like, oh, and then he turned them into cute little dolphins. And the Greeks were like, no, he killed everybody in a horrible death. And then some who managed to survive were turned into dolphins. The Romans were really terrified of this guy and the kind of message he was spreading. They really don't like it. They don't like it. But in either story, notice who he ends up saving. It's a nobody sailor. The guy's not the captain or anything. He's the Mr. Smee, of the group.
It's me!
He's not the captain. He's not like some noble or hero or something. He's just some guy, a normal guy who just happened to recognize him and gave him some respect. And after that, he goes around spreading the story about Dionysus, because the premise of these stories, it's like, let me tell you, it's like it's from the perspective of that survivor, and he's like, let me tell you something about Dionysus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to tell people why you should worship him. And I feel like he's got some good arguments there. But
yes.
which just shows, again, Dionysus doesn't really care where you come from. And was just as happy having a commoner singing his praises to the masses as a king or a queen. Right? Also, if you're just nice, you won't end up messed up.
I mean, I think that should be said for anybody. Be nice. Mm-hmm. Just be nice.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if you're talking to Dionysus.
Like, just have a good time.
Have the expectation that you're always talking to Dionysus.
Don't be a killjoy. Don't be selling people into slavery. Don't be imprisoning people.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Let's just have fun. Recognize I am the god of good times. Don't disrespect people, and we'll be fine. Exactly. No one gets torn from limb. No one gets turned into dolphins.
I mean, being a dolphin might be fun, though.
No, they're like coked up sex addict. Like, they kill baby sharks for fun.
I know they do. Because dolphins love shark liver.
They're incredibly intelligent sociopaths. They're cute, but do you really want to be turned into a dolphin? Come on.
I might.
Well, then you got people hunting you and putting you in tanks where you die sad death.
I mean, way to put it that way. Damn.
Just jerking you off for experiments. That was a whole thing. That's a whole separate.
I mean, that is a deep dive. Wow,
that's a different podcast, guys.
That is a very different podcast.
Historical fact. Fun
no,
fact.
It's true.
But that's not what we're here for.
No. Okay.
Dionysus is not here for that.
Let's reel it back in.
Reel it back.
So, what is any good hero story without a trip to see Uncle Hades?
It's not a good story.
Probably not.
No.
Everybody's got to go to the underworld sometime.
Hey.
And just like the hero Hercules and Odysseus, it's Dionysus' turn to take a trip down to the land down under, literally. Pausanias, in Book 2 of his description of Greece, describes two variant traditions regarding Dionysus' catabasis, or descent into the underworld. Both describe how Dionysus entered into the afterlife to rescue his mother, Semele, and bring her to her rightful place on Olympus. To do so, he had to contend with this hell dog, Cerberus, which was restrained for him by Hercules. Or Heracles. I know, technically it goes either way.
Cerberus, it just, yeah.
I took Latin in high school, and so I see the C and I'm like, that's a K sound.
I know. It's just we get it. Don't send us emails about how we said something wrong. To be fair, this is neither one of us was native language.
No, and
there's the varying
there's going to be everything. Yeah. Like when you switch over from the Greek to the Roman and the Roman to the Greek, Hercules, Heracles. Either way, same person. Right. We know who it's referring to. Does it really matter? Not so much. So saying this is the second time that Hercules has done this. I just feel like this little detail is a little wild. Like, once is pretty impressive to hold that dog.
I know.
Twice?
Yeah, I know. It's also, it's weird that it happened the second time, right? You would have thought someone, come on. What's even the point of Cerberus if that's just God? I don't know.
All I can think is that meme. Can I pet that dog?
Oh.
Can I pet that dog?
Also, you would think Cerberus the second time would have been nope, I'm out.
The thing is, it's probably depicted as this, masculine kind of thing, but in reality, what it would have been is he's holding the dog leash. He's holding the leash for the dog.
A pit bull with the collar.
Exactly. The Rottweiler's got the choke chain. It's fine.
Now I'm sad.
I mean, you could be sad. It's okay. I'll say. After retrieving Semele, Dionysus emerged with her from the unfathomable waters of the lagoon of the coast of the Argolid, near the prehistoric site of Lerna, according to the local tradition. This mythic event was commemorated with a yearly nighttime festival, the details of which were held in secret by the local religion. What I would give to be a time traveler. I can't imagine that a festival that's held at night on a beautiful beach in honor of a god of revelry could be anything but a good time.
No. Like,
that just
sign me up.
Like,
why did we stop doing it? God,
the thing is, I don't think we ever did stop doing it. It's just,
I like to think that festival too, because of, like, I don't know, this is my fan fiction here. But, like, you know, the whole story is like he comes from essentially an underwater cave, a deep underwater cave, and they come up and things like that. And I feel like you would think a part of this festival would be like a diving competition or something. There's a lot of swimming involved. I don't know. It just seems like a good time. It's like a really
sounds like fun to me.
Yeah. God.
So, according to Paolo Carente, the emergence of Dionysus from the waters of the lagoon may signify a form of rebirth for both him and Semele as they re-emerge from the underworld.
That makes sense.
A variant of this myth forms the basis of Aristophanes' comedy, The Frogs.
Mm-hmm.
While this is a cute and funny story, it's not really relevant for the scope of this episode. But this would definitely be a contender for maybe a mini-sode where we talk about it on Patreon or something. But we're just starting out, so we don't have all that set up.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, I've touched a little bit, like, I read the story a little bit before.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like the comedy version. It's like a parody of, like, the myth. And so it's like, he goes down there and he's like...
I love parodies, though.
Right. It's just... So, it's not important for, like, you're losing important information. It'd be like if there was a parody of, like, Harry Potter out or something. You don't need to watch that to fucking understand Harry Potter, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Like,
there's plenty of them.
Right, exactly.
No, and you're gonna see that all the time. But yeah, we can definitely do maybe a mini-sode on that.
Yeah.
Have that on another platform.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you want to see it, cool. If not, cool. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So for this next one, just remember, this is written by a Christian writer, which I can imagine wouldn't be too keen on making the pagan god of happy times and partying look good. Okay? Like, we're just putting that out there. Also, they don't usually look too fondly upon gays. So let's remember this LGBTQ plus people. So let's keep that in mind also when we are looking at this story. According to the Christian writer Clement of Alexandria, Dionysus was guided in his journey by Prosimus. I can never do this one. Prosimus, who requested as a reward to be Dionysus' lover. There was some kind of task. He did it, and as a reward, he wanted to be Dionysus' lover. But Prosimus died before Dionysus could honor his pledge. So to satisfy Prosimus' shade, ghost, right, spirit in the underworld, Dionysus fashioned a phallus form from a fig branch and penetrated the corpse, penetrated himself, depending on the story, to satisfy this shade. So he fashioned a dildo, guys.
A fig dildo.
And either inserted it into said corpse or himself, depends on the story, in a tomb.
I mean, like, I'm sure all of the goth and emo kids are just like, oh my god, that's fucking bad.
It is pretty metal, I won't lie. But at the same time, we are not recommending you do that.
Please don't do that.
Please honor people's resting places. Please do not fashion wood dildos.
Well, the splinters. But, you know, at the same time, like, we can love nature. We don't have to love nature that hard. Okay? we don't.
Again, just as a reminder, this story survives in full only in Christian sources, whose aim was to discredit pagan mythology, but appears to also have served to explain the origin of secret objects used during Dionysian mysteries. So how much of this is really true, who knows? But I've seen it floating around a lot, so I wanted to include it.
Understandable.
But you're welcome.
Thank you so much. But despite the stories, in the end, he was ultimately successful in retrieving his mother from death. He renamed his mother Thyone and ascended her with her to heaven, where she became a goddess. Which, let's just pause for a second. I can't imagine Hera would be too happy about this, but apparently no one asked her opinion.
No, I mean,
Queen of Heaven, no one asked her.
This is Greece, guys. Air Rome. You silly lady.
No one cares.
Be quiet.
Apparently at this point, she was just over it because we don't hear about her doing anything else that is crazy after this.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, like, God, I know she's vindictive, but Dionysus, he does seem to, like, age normally, which is also weird for a god, different thing. But, like, he's probably in his mid-20s at this point. Like, God, you've had a 20-something year. Like, it's just, after a while, I feel like you just gotta let it go. It's
let
like, whatever.
It go.
Like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
Like, besides, Zeus has probably procreated at this point and started a whole new thing for her.
I mean, Zeus is probably on to the next and the next and the next
like,
mistress
okay, well,
by this
whatever.
time. You know, maybe in the interim it was the gonna go fuck a lady as a swan. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Gotta love that, man.
Kink shaming the swan lovers, okay?
I will kink shame the shit out of the swan lovers.
Or maybe he was a literal golden shower. That's
oh God. I don't want to know about that one. I forgot. I don't want to know.
To be fair, it is one of my favorite paintings by Gustav Klimt. It's very pretty, but like, you know, it's either a literal golden shower, like a golden shower, like, yeah, or a literal golden shower where she's getting pelted with gold coins. I just feel like that's not fun, but either way,
that is
I don't see the
intense.
appeal, but good for her.
Do what you do.
We don't kink shame here.
So, you know, it just seems like
as long as it's consensual.
they all went through a lot of trouble. But
for one night.
Yes, it is implied that Dionysus must prove his godhood to mortals, and then also to legitimize his place on Olympus, prove his lineage, and elevate his mother to divine status before taking his place among the Olympic gods. But as we know, there are 12 Olympians.
Hold up, sorry. I want a quick pause. It just hit me. This is like the entire premise of the Disney Hercules movie, guys.
It is.
For real. Like, he has to, the whole thing is like, he has to prove he's a god by helping all these people and prove his godhood to all the people. And then at the very end, he gets Meg, saves her from death, brings her back. And I guess the only difference in the story is that instead of elevating her to god status, he decides to, like, you know, go back to her level, I guess. But, like, for real, the majority of that, man, that's wild. So, not that anyone's surprised that Disney is kind of unoriginal, but
well, always.
It's okay. But wow, all right.
So, as we know, there are 12 Olympians. So, I would be remiss to not tell you that this came at the cost of Hestia giving up her spot for him, because 12 is seen as a sacred number, regardless, and 13 is always seen as unlucky because of this. Okay, 13, fun fact, originally, not an unlucky number.
So she getting booted? That's sad.
Hestia, Vesta, she is literally the home and the hearth. And the Olympians literally, like, cater to her because she is not only the oldest of the Olympians, but the youngest because of the consumption by their father. So every time you made food, the first bite was to Hestia. The first portion was to Hestia, no matter what.
Right. But that sucks that she got kicked out.
It does, because she's like the older sister that just got forgotten. It's just like, oh, that's fucked up. But before you go feeling too bad, I have a feeling that this actually worked out for her. First of all, unlike all of the other gods, except maybe Dionysus, she was worshipped by everyone who had a fire.
Okay.
Just like I said. So she would get the first of every sacrifice, no matter to which god. And honestly, Olympus just had a lot of drama. And I could see her really just not wanting to be a part of that with no benefit. Either way, she was getting hers, so I imagine it was just like, I'm out. Bye.
She's out. Bye. Good for her. Never mind, though. Good for her. You know what? Yeah. Who wants that? Who wants that drama? You can have it.
No, thank you. We're
I'm still getting
good.
all the benefits and none of the consequences. Okay, bye.
None of the bullshit.
Say less,
Sounds
queen.
good.
So, all right. So while this is the main canon of the trials and tribulations and ultimate acceptance of Dionysus, right? So full circle, he was born, goes through all this crap, and at the end of it, he brings his mom back, makes her a goddess, happily ever after the end, right? So we have a start and end with some fun little stuff in between. I do still want to take some time to explore some secondary myths, right? That kind of go either, they're not like necessarily, I mean, they could have happened in this span of time, but they could have also happened after. We don't know, right? It doesn't say. So the first one is maybe one of the most popular of these myths. And this is, of course, Midas and the Golden Touch. Popularized by Aesop's Fables, a collection of fairy tales, the story goes as follows. Dionysus discovered that his old schoolmaster and foster father, Silenus, had gone missing and freaks out. Which is, again, that's really nice, you know? Like
he's just like, that's my dad.
Yeah, he's concerned to Kaz. Like, he loves this little fat old man. Like, oh,
as you should.
Take care of your old gays, guys. They still want love too.
Absolutely.
Silenus, who may have been a satyr or just some, like I said, some fat little old man. Who knows? He's represented as both. For whatever reason, was deeply endeared by the god of wine, but had a bad habit of wandering away when he got drunk, apparently. So, apparently it happened again. And this, he needs a bell. He needs like a
GPS tracking?
No, he needs like one of those kid leashes. Where are you going to put, he's always depicted naked, girl. Where are you putting that GPS tracker? God. Oh, girl. Anyway.
Prison pocket. Fucking prison pocket.
But so okay, apparently it happened again. But this time he was found by some peasants who carried him to their king. Alternatively, there's a story where he passed out in Midas's rose garden, which if you've ever seen any of the statues, I have this lovely mental image of this short, pudgy guy passed out, naked, balls out in a bush.
Oof.
And the king coming out to enjoy his like morning walk and just being like, what the hell? But unlike all the other previous kings we've dealt with so far, this guy had some common sense. And he recognized him and decided wisely to treat him hospitably, feasting him for 10 days and nights, while Silenus entertained him with stories and songs, which which doesn't it just go along better if you just go along with it, guys? Remember, like, wow, look at that. So instead of getting torn from limb, you got to just, party and hang out for 10 days. See? Better.
Sounds like a party.
Better. On the 11th day, Midas brought Silenus back to Dionysus. Dionysus offered the king his choice of reward. He told him he could just ask for whatever he wanted as long as he took time to think. And of course, this is where the king makes his mistake. He cuts him off and just blurts out whatever he might touch turns to gold. He's just like, all right, so I want you to think. I want to touch everything I touch turn to gold.
Yikes.
But Dionysus consented, though he was sorry that he had not made a better choice. Midas rejoices in his new power, which he hastened to put to the test. He was just so excited, guys.
Yeah.
He touched and turned into gold an oak twig, and then a stone. But his joy and as he's doing it, guys, he is completely crashing the economy. Inflation is within 20 minutes rampant. What is the value of gold if everything is gold?
Zero.
Right, but we're not talking. But they weren't talking about that in the fairy tale.
Nope.
Later, when, but his joy goes away because he found out that his bread, meat, wine, all of it turned to gold. Can't eat money, guys.
Nope.
Later, when his daughter embraced him, she too turned to gold. The horrified king strove to divest the Midas touch, and he prayed to Dionysus to save him from starvation. And the god consented, telling Midas to wash his hands in the river Pactolus. As he did so, the power passed into the river, and the sands turned to gold. This ideological myth supposedly explained the gold sands of Pactolus. Also, depending on the variation of the story you read, Dionysus also turns everything back the way it was. So this is one of the few myths where someone's daughter or the female in the story doesn't have to face a horrible punishment due to the actions of the male in the story.
I mean, how revolutionary.
I know! Also, this is like one of the few stories where, like, if you make a mistake, it's okay. Like, you don't, like, have to live with that for the rest of your life, which is kind of nice too, you know?
No, and
but
that's...
just teach a lesson. You don't have to do that.
No, that's huge. And, it's merciful, because typically it's just like, ha ha ha, you fucked up, fuck you.
Like, you realize that you made a mistake, and you're sorry about it, and you are forgiven, and it was all made better because they're gods and they can, just do that.
I mean, yeah, they can.
Which kind of, I don't know, makes me more mad that they don't do it more often.
So, the second story is a love story. Now, fair warning, there are many, many, many variations of this story. But I'm going to go with my favorite one because, one, this is our podcast and that's what we can do. So, it goes a little like this. The worst tool bag of all time. Theseus.
Yes.
Abandoned Ariadne, the girl who just helped him defeat the Minotaur and escape the unescapable labyrinth and escape the wrath of her family off an island on Naxos while she was sleeping after he had done the deed and told her how much he loved her. Like, honestly,
God, the
frat
worst.
bro shit.
Yeah, but like that's so crappy. Like, that's the worst one night stand. The worst.
No, not even a one night stand. Not even a one night stand. If you think about it, she did all of this stuff for him.
The worst ghosting ever.
Oh,
God.
Fuck! It's terrible.
Yeah.
So she wakes up alone and, not quite realizing her situation, sees the ships out in the distance and thinks that maybe they just forgotten would be coming back for her. After a couple of days, however, it becomes pretty clear that was not the case and that Theseus had just ghosted her.
See, I feel like after like an hour, I would have been like, these fuckers.
Yeah, but you have to figure out, like, we have like an instant gratification thing going on for our generation. I just
feel like, how do you like only realize someone's missing? I don't care what time you're from, after a few days. Oh, like,
well,
it's been 3 days.
Don't move
I
haven't
fast. Seen in 4 days. My girlfriend I was boning. Like, you're just realizing that? I feel like that should be a red flag. I don't care what time period you're from.
She's like, where's the warm hole? Where'd she go?
Oh,
like, I'm terrible. I'm fucking terrible. It's awesome.
It's all right. Theseus was terrible. He probably did say it like that.
Yeah, probably.
He would have.
So, because he's so classy, right? Theseus is so fucking classy. This, of course, left her pretty down and in the dumps and afraid, because that would be a good reaction when you have just escaped a horribly abusive situation, just to be dumped on an island far away from your home in the middle of fucking nowhere with no supplies and no contacts.
Yeah, just like a little context. Ariadne, guys, has a really messed up family dynamic. That Minotaur, that's her half brother, because her mom, who's a daughter of a Titan, Helios, her aunt's Circe, all sorts of fun stuff, bent over for a bull, because this is one of those stories where the female has to pay for the consequences of the male in the story. Yep. The male didn't sacrifice the bull. So, he got cursed by Poseidon to want to have relations with that bull, and that was the product of it. And I'm sure those were very awkward family dinners after that.
I'm sorry, that's some redneck fucking bullshit right there.
So yeah. So after escaping that hellhole, and then again, they locked your man-eating half-brother in the basement, and you had to be the one to take care of him, which is also lovely. You get to pay for the consequences of both of your parents. I can relate. I get it.
Yikes.
I get it.
Yikes.
I get it.
But Dionysus finding Ariadne asleep and heartbroken, he was smitten.
Oh, nice.
But unlike his dad and so many other gods, where they just took what they wanted right there and then, he decided to at least make conversation first. What's your name?
With no trickery, not like turning yourself into something or the story where he turned into her husband.
Yeah,
there's that one, guys, where she literally got tricked because he pretended he was her husband.
Yep,
that's awkward.
Very. So, probably already knowing what happened, he still decided to ask her what was wrong.
Oh, he knows what happened. He's the god. Absolutely. Yeah.
But gods in this time, they are not overseers in that way. They are not that way. They are not, I know everything.
I like to think Dionysus kind of knew, though, but he's like, I gotta bring myself to the mortal level. I don't want to scare him.
Probably.
He's like nice. He's like, I still want to hear about your problems.
I love Dionysus.
Got a therapy.
She, of course, explained the situation to this wild-looking man. No words on how she viewed him, but I would assume that she was at least being polite. You have to figure if she's actually speaking to him, there had to be something there.
You know what I think? She's like, this guy's wild, but I think he's like you have to remember what world she's coming from, where most guys don't give a about your opinion.
Yep.
And she's like, wow, this guy wants to know how I feel. Fuck, all right.
Like, this is a new experience.
I think she's like, I don't think she cared who fucking asked at this point.
Probably not.
She needed the vent.
Probably. So, barely seeing her upset by this, he tells her, well, hell, I'll marry you if that guy won't. Ariadne, considering her options, probably wasn't in much of a position to say no.
True.
But at least he was nice enough to, ask.
I know.
Versus just being like, you're fucking marrying me now. So,
Yeah, go somewhere just take her there. Consent's not a problem.
Consent wasn't a thing. So, there are stories where he kind of does do that, but at least he gives her the illusion that it was her choice.
Right.
Either way, she says yes, and he, being the romantic guy he is, makes a crown for her and places it among the stars and turns her...
Screw Theseus. He could never make you a crown of stars. Screw him. You upgraded, girl.
Absolutely. And he turns her into a goddess. And they end up having a lot of kids together. Nice. And they are super happy. And he doesn't cheat on her, which is, again, gods don't do that because they don't have the morality of people. And again, the society at that time did not see that as a bad thing.
It's not to say that there aren't stories out there that may say that. They are not usually... There are far and few between. All of the main ones typically portray it this way. So yes, you may find, actually I found this story that said he did do this against our podcast. There are so many of them. We decided to pick the nice one. But also, again, they're not as commonly discussed. So, even within their own time. It might be a local tradition that says, well, actually there's a local guys that we decided to hook him up with so that we're tied to him. But But the main... The main stories, the
main stories don't have it, and this is huge for an offspring of Zeus.
Yeah, we'll say those stories were fan fiction and they were non-canonical.
No, but
then he loves his wife.
Yes. So there are some stories where it ends tragically, or it starts off tragically, like where she's somehow stabbed by Perseus at the beginning and left on the island.
That one, where did Perseus come from?
Who fucking knows?
You just you got Theseus dropped. She's like, oh my god, where are you going? And then all of a sudden she gets shanked by Perseus as he's flying by. Okay.
I'm
why?
Fucking serial killer shit right there.
I can't make the through line on that. It's okay, I can understand a local god or something. They're trying to make that connection with their own culture. But Perseus, I can't see this with Perseus. So no. I don't even understand.
No, there's the one where, of course, she's stabbed by Perseus at the beginning and left on the island. Or Artemis kills her for some reason after she marries Dionysus. And I'm not quite sure why she would do that, but I like to think that they ended up happy together.
Yeah, because none of the stories say that Ariadne was like a priestess or worshiper of Artemis.
Yeah,
and Artemis, I don't know why she'd be jealous, because that's her whole thing, is not getting married. The only time she gets mad like that is like if you're her devotee and you made vows and then you break them.
Well, she's very heavy on the vows in the first place.
Versus,
so
if Ariadne's not the devotee,
no,
I don't see it. But like, whatever. It's just because they really like pitting women against women sometimes back then.
Seriously,
like I don't know.
Sad.
Make them irrational, crazy ladies.
Are you on your period?
Oh my God, her moon blood, Artemis and her moon blood.
But yeah, we're gonna go with the one where they pretty much have their happily ever after.
That's nice.
And they love each other. Because this is our podcast.
Yes. So, fun fact about me. For this final story, I really love foxes. They're so cute. So I'm including this one, even though it's just kind of a short random blurb, but I just feel like this would make a really cool art piece, and I would love to see it. Also, the Maenads and his priests and all that would wear leopard skins and fox skins, apparently. So this would be a pretty cool myth to link that idea between them wearing the fox skins. So, apparently it went like this. With not much context given, or why Dionysus also sent a fox that was fated never to be caught in Thebes, like not a cute fox either. Think like that full demon fox Naruto energy.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like this is a
Oh boy.
Not a little guy. He is there to fuck shit up. Okay.
Oof.
So Creon, king of Thebes. Yeah, that Creon from all that crap we had to read in high school with Oedipus and Antigone, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Sent some guy, Amphitryon, to catch and kill the fox. Amphitryon obtained Cephalus, the dog that his white Procris, had received from Minos or Artemis, depending on the story, whatever, which was fated to catch whatever it pursued. This, of course, created a paradox because the fox could never be caught, yet the dog could catch whatever it pursued. Realizing the Doctor Who levels of space-time destruction a paradox like this could create, he decided just to take them, Daddy Zeus, decided to just take them and turn them into stars. So that explains, apparently, 2 constellations in the sky, and that's the end of the story. So those 2 constellations, because it's rotating in the sky, it looks like the fox is running away from the dog forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a side note, I also think that maybe the fox thing came from him being salty with the thieves on what they did before. If that's the case, the Thebans, not the thieves, the Thebans. Well, he's still mad about that whole thing with his mom. He's still mad. If that's the case, they need to make him, I don't know, he needs therapy. Like, let it go, guy.
Well, I mean, justifiably so. Like, they fucked up.
You've killed all the people involved. Like, let it go. Whatever.
You know what? I'm just like Dionysus. I will hold a grudge forever. So, like.
Well, there you go. But, so, on that note, that brings us to the end of the mythology part of our segment on Dionysus. Next time, we will talk more about the origins and archaeological evidence of where the cult to Dionysus came from. The plan is for this to be about 4 to 5 parts, this whole Dionysus thing, because we really want to give you an in-depth dive into our topics without it being 8 hours long. So, this is a way to keep it all organized and easy to process. Plus, if myths are more your thing, and you don't care so much about the archaeology, then this will be easy for you be easy to spot for you. This probably is going to be the sort of thing we do with most topics we are covering going forward, because we are sure many of you have some knowledge going into what basics of what we're discussing. We are thinking it's better for all of us to get into the thick of it. We think you are smart people who want to be surprised and learn new things, and we want to talk about those things because we're nerds.
Glorious nerds.
Glorious nerds.
So we are new to this. So subscribing and liking us, leaving reviews, and just word of mouth sharing is a great help to get us started. And hopefully keep going with this. We have a lot of ideas for future topics, many episodes, and want to share all of this with you guys. So thank you so much for listening. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Brandon. And thank you for going on a journey with us at the Time Travelers Club.
See you next time.